Today, I want to talk about briefly to let you understand that immigration in America is no longer a do-it-yourself project for those who are wise. It may sound like, oh, of course, what will a lawyer say? Yeah, I don't say these things before, but there have been too much people or too many people who have gotten themselves in trouble. Then they come into my office when they've already practically ruined their own case because they tried to do their case themselves. Many people believe immigration forms are just paperwork, but not anymore. Every immigration application is a legal document now that you are submitting under penalty of perjury. It's always been like that, but it has not been as serious as it is in the current climate. Every answer you give becomes part of your permanent immigration record and may be reviewed years later when you apply for another immigration benefit. If I have $1 for every time a client tells me the kind of silly mistakes they make, mistake in even just understanding the question, and then they feel it wrong, and then it ends up costing them years. For those who are lucky, it may cost them 4 or 5 years to fix it. For some, it creates a problem that they can never solve. See, unfortunately, many immigrants try to handle complicated cases on their own after watching YouTube videos, reading social media comments, or following advice from friends whose situations are completely different. They may have won their case doing it themselves, but their situation may be completely different from yours. In fact, I just got a client, a VIP client, just yesterday on a Sunday, who actually relied on the advice of somebody who had done it himself and got approved, but their situations were different. And then he filed exactly, in fact, he allowed that man to file it for him. And at the end of the day, he got denied because the situation are very different. What worked for someone else may not work for you. I'm not saying you can't feel fun by yourself, but what works for a third party may not necessarily work for you. One small mistake can have lasting consequences. A missed deadline, an incorrect answer, an incomplete form, or failing to disclose important information can lead to delays or lead to requests for evidence, especially requests for evidence. When you try to do requests for evidence yourself, 9 times out of 10, you are going to make a major mistake and it's going to lead to denial of your case. Because at that point, it's getting even more legal and you can't deal with it yourself. A mistake can lead to denial or even place your future immigration benefits at risk. Every immigration case has its own facts, its own history, its own legal issues. What appears to be a simple application may involve hidden problems, such as unlawful presence. What exactly is even that? How do you calculate that? The way a layman will calculate it is different from the way a lawyer will do. Previous visa violations. You may not even know that you have even violated visa when you're filling it yourself, like F1, for instance. If you are not carrying full load as a student, even though your status said duration of status, but you have not gone to school in 2 or 3 semesters, or you have been taking 1 or 2 courses, you are already in violation. But when you fill the forms yourself, you are not going to put that in there. And that can then come back to become a major problem later because they have full records now. It could be criminal history. You might be thinking, I wasn't convicted, so I don't need to disclose that. But the question is saying, have you ever been arrested, for instance? But many people, if you are arrested and they let you go after 5 minutes, it's not going to occur to you to include that as part of your application if you are doing it yourself. But if a lawyer is doing it, he knows better. Your prior immigration filings, many even file, they don't have records of what they filed, so they guess on the new one. Or inconsistent information from what you submitted years ago. By doing it yourself, all of these things will escape you're even thinking about. But if you are using a lawyer, now a good lawyer will probably say, I want to get a copy of everything you have with immigration first. If you don't have it, he will do a FOIA to get a copy of everything before he does anything for you. Even something as simple as filing for work permit. Because you understand that one inconsistent stuff can lead to years of pain or denial. So here are a few reasons why I think immigration should never be treated as a do-it-yourself project, no matter how smart you are, whether you're a professor or you're a PhD. Immigration laws and government policies change frequently. Even those of us who are lawyers, we have to literally double check on the day we are filing something, because something could have changed yesterday. District court judgments change almost every week. And if you are doing it yourself, you don't even know where to look to find out whether something has changed. Every case is unique. That's reason number 2. There is no one size fits all. It don't matter even if you are brother and sister. Every case is unique. Information you submit today can affect future green card, visa, or citizenship applications. That's the third reason why you don't want to do this yourself. Number 4, small mistakes can become permanent problems in your immigration record. I know, I've been there. Before I even got my license to practice law, when I was trying to do my own application myself for my family, I got approved, but I made a mistake with my son, and it took him 3 years to be able to get here. 2 years after I finally got my license to practice. Small mistakes, was very small. I never thought it was a major issue that anybody would think about. But here we are. Number 5, online advice. I'm not going to say it's useless. It's good. Some of them are pretty good, but it is often incomplete or outdated or based on someone else's circumstances. You see all these online places where somebody will say, oh, I got approved for this. This is what I did. This is what I did. It's probably not giving you the full information, or it's probably telling you about his own specific circumstance, which is very different from yours. So it's a bad idea to then think that you're going to go get advice from somebody who's not a lawyer himself and go do your own thing just because you work for him. Number 6, a qualified immigration attorney can identify legal options and risks you may not even know existed. I've had clients that have come to me, they want to pay me money to file stuff for them. But by the time I questioned them, I was able to tell them that no, you shouldn't even file anything right now. Just hold the one that you have in your hand and wait for things to change because of this, because of this. One of them has had the girlfriend call the police over a domestic assault issue, and then police arrested him, and then they released him without any charge because the girlfriend later said she doesn't want to do any charges. Now, when you are filling your form, if you don't understand some of these things well, that is something that can even take away green card you have from you eventually. Or if you are applying for green card, it may ensure that you never get. Because in today's immigration, conviction is not what is even overriding now. Even if you are not convicted, they can still use it against you with the law on their side, not because Donald Trump hates you, but because that is the law. And some of those laws have been there before Donald Trump came in. They were just not being enforced. A seventh reason why you may want to reconsider is doing this thing yourself is proper legal guidance can help you avoid costly delays and unnecessary stress. Because in today's immigration system, preparation, accuracy, legal strategy matter more than ever. There is nothing like a straight up case anymore. The immigrants who achieve the best outcomes are often those who seek reliable legal advice before filing, not after receiving a denial. Because once you have filed something, you are locked into that thing that you filed. A lawyer can only do their best. They cannot change facts that you have already submitted, especially in cases like asylum. Once you've already filed it, it's whatever you put there. Your lawyer may try to help you beef it up and try to help you qualify it. But if you have told a story that is not going to get you asylum, even though you may have been qualified, but because you are not a lawyer, you didn't know some of the stuff you are supposed to have included, even with your true story, then it becomes too late for you to deal with that. I wanted that to be my advice of the week for you today, for those of you who keep up with this show. Don't gamble with your future just because you want to save a little money today. If a lawyer charges you too much and you cannot afford his fees, go look for another lawyer that you can afford. That is still better than you trying to do it yourself. And if you don't have the money they ask you to pay, work out a payment plan with them. Because if your immigration case could determine where you live, where you work, whether your family stays together, or whether you become a US citizen, or whether you're going back to your country, then it deserves more than guesswork, more than do it yourself. And that is everything I tell a lot of people as I meet them now, that you don't even have to use my services. I will be happy to represent you, but you don't have to use me. Just make sure you use a lawyer. Use a good one before filing an application, before you respond to USIS, if they send you any letter or they send you any document, before you travel outside the country, or before making any major immigration decision. Get advice from a qualified immigration attorney who understands your situation. Because your American immigration dream is too valuable for you to leave to chance. Take my word for it, even though I'm a lawyer, my job is to try to get you to use lawyers, but trust me on this one. You don't have to use me, but make sure you use a competent lawyer, or the money you are trying to save today, you may end up spending 10 times that and still not be able to solve your problem, especially when you have already messed it up yourself. At that point, you can't even say ineffective assistance of counsel. If your case is messed up, there is something that allows you to even blame lawyer. But if you did it yourself, you cannot raise that. You did it yourself. And that is my immigration advice of the week. When we come back, we'll take a few updates on immigration that has happened in the last few days to keep you updated, just in case you are not aware of it yourself. I'll be right back after introducing you to the Rottweiler. 1 minute.